Hi everybody. So today we're going to be doing a whole body flow. So we're going to be trying to work our way through a series of shapes that open up through the spine in all of the different directions that we can move, open up in the hips in all of the different directions that we can move, and just create a feeling of spaciousness and mobility and a little bit of strength in there as well in a short period of time. So let's come to a comfortable seat to begin with, and it can be cross-legged, sitting like I am now, or you can be sitting on your shins if that feels better for you. And let's just take the palms to turn to face upwards. So we're drawing in fresh energy today. And then go ahead and sit up as tall as you can. The chin is almost drawing in towards the chest. The crown of the head is lifting up towards the sky. So there's this feeling of space and length through the whole of the spine. And then from that place of length and spaciousness, just start to close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, just soften a little around the edges. Soften the space in between the eyebrows and around the outside edges of the eyes. Relax the tongue away from the roof of the mouth. Relax the shoulders, just taking a moment to sit tall. And with that length in your spine, just slowly begin to draw your left ear towards your left shoulder. So you feel a spaciousness coming in through the side of the neck here. Try and let the right shoulder just relax down, and maybe you'll even take the hand behind the back so that it encourages that feeling of space even more. And while you're here, you can't help but relax the tongue away from the roof of the mouth. So just noticing how that gives you a little bit of freedom here in an area that we tend to hold and grip onto when we're feeling under pressure, a little busy in our day. Take another big breath here. And if your hand is behind your back, just slowly bring the hand back to your knee and then lift yourself back up to center. And then keep the spine nice and long, eyes stay closed, and just gently drawing now opposite ear to opposite shoulder. And then if it feels good, taking left arm behind the back and just letting left shoulder draw down away from the ear. And now inviting a sense of space all the way through the side of the neck here. Notice if one side feels like it's a little more congested, a little more sticky than the other. Or if it feels like they're pretty balanced, which might well be the case. Relax the jaw, relax the neck, relax all of those tiny little muscles around the face here. And when you finish the breath that you're on, if the hand is behind your back, just placing the hand back down to the lap and then sitting up tall as you let your eyes begin to open here. Keep the spine long, place left hand down to the ground, reaching right hand up, and as you exhale, leaning over. Now we continue that idea of side body, but we're reaching it down through the side stomach and the tissues in between the ribs. Finding that sense of freedom, maybe even leaning back a little, reaching fingers further. And just looking down or sideways, and then we'll just slowly guide ourselves back up through center. All the time the spine stays long, and we move to the second side. Shoulder draws back, chest lifts a little, fingers extend and reach. Exploring space arriving into the body. And then let's go just one more time in each direction. So we're taking left hand down, reaching up and over with right fingers. Breathing into the space in between the ribs, in between the lungs. And then last time, second direction. So finding that rhythm of breathing from side to side, guiding the breath into the challenging spots and choosing to stay calm and relaxed everywhere else. Perfect. And then bring yourself slowly back up through to center. And we're going to place the hands down in front of us, coming onto the tops of the shins and the feet here for tabletop position. And as you inhale, we're going to soften the belly, reach the chest forward. So there's that feeling of expansion through the front body here. And as you breathe out, you're rounding through the spine, pushing the ground away and really separating the shoulders, lifting up through the back of the vertebrae. Inhale back through center, chest forward, shoulders back. Exhale, rounding through the spine, finding space, finding release. And let's take 2 more rounds like this, just mobilizing through the tissues in the spine, mobilizing the fascia in the lower back in particular, one of the densest areas here, mobilizing pelvic floor and pelvic bowl. And then when we finish those rounds of breath, let's come back into that neutral tabletop position. From here, we're going to reach right leg away, flex the toes as you lift the leg up, and you're pushing away through the heel of the foot. Belly's drawn into center, and then take opposite hand forward. And you want to really push down through the right hand, push down through the top of the left foot here. And you'll feel this feeling of power through the back of the legs, and that's something that we want to try to maintain as we flow. That idea of building strength and flexibility every chance we can by sprinkling these simple little movements into our regular rhythm. Let's exhale and bring elbow, knee, and forehead into center. And then inhale, get nice and long and powerful through the back line of the body. Exhale as small as you can. And then inhale, nice and long. And then last one, exhale, tiny little bundle. And then inhale, finding that sense of power. And let's reach around as we bend the knee. Take left hand to find right foot if you can, and push the foot into the hand. Push down a lot through the top of the left foot to stabilize. And you're going to feel it through the front of the right hip, through the front of left shoulder. One more breath. And then slowly release with control back to that nice long straight line. And then place hand, knee, and foot back down to the ground. Let's switch to the second side. So left leg extends. Toes are pointing towards the center of your body, heels reaching away. Finding power as we reach right hand forward, pushing down through the bottom of left hand, top of right foot. Belly's drawn in and up, leg as straight as we can take it. And just pausing here for a moment to recognize our strength. To recognize how it feels to be powerful in a way that we already are, just learning how to fire what we already have up. Stability exists within us already. And then exhale, bring elbow, knee, and forehead into center. Inhale, nice and long. And then exhale, small as you can. And then inhale, finding your length. And then last time, exhale as small as you can. And then inhale, pausing there. Bending the knee, reaching around with the right hand, taking hold of the foot, and then pushing foot into the hand. Right shoulder draws back, left front hip, getting a nice opening here as well. Really using the hand and foot on the floor to steady ourselves. Take a nice big breath. And then we release slowly back to where we were with control. And then we place everything back down to the ground. Keep the hips where they are. Let's walk the fingers a little further forward and just melt the heart down towards the ground. And you can rest on chin or forehead here. And just take a moment to really explore letting the chest really relax. Tissues around the front of the heart and lungs, softening and opening the back of the arms as well. And just notice how that feels to let go of the control, reversing the effects of any slouching that we do from time to time. Last breath here. And then we gently lift the chest up. Walk those hands back to being underneath our shoulders. Fingers as wide as we can. We tuck the toes under, lift the knees and the hips. First downward dog of the day. So just start to walk the dog, lifting one heel, bending the same knee, getting a little bit of movement through the legs. Check into how that feels through the back of the legs every time you're pushing the heel down. How does it feel at the back of the ankle? How does it feel at the calf muscle area? How does it feel through the back of the legs? Hips are lifting high, hands are pushing the ground away, and just finding that sense of space. And then let's look forward and come into plank. So coming back to that idea of strength here, good posture as well. You're pushing the ground away with the hands, heels are reaching back, so you feel the back line of the body nice and strong, just like we did in that shape before. And then can you be here for just another breath? And then lift it back up to downward facing dog. And this is a really nice way to strengthen our shoulders as we flow between down dog and plank. So let's do this 2 more times here. All of us can do with a little bit more power in our upper backs here for posture's sake. Inhale, gaze forward. Adjust your feet, plank position. Hands push the ground away, strong in the upper back and belly and legs and core. Lift it back up to downward facing dog. Hips nice and high, hands push the ground away, lengthening back body. And then just one more time. Inhale, come forward to plank. Find your power in the legs, spreading the effort through the whole body here. And then we lift it back up to downward facing dog. Take the feet a little wider than you would normally. Walk the hands towards the feet, toes pointing out, and then sink down into Malasana. And as you're here, bring the hands into heart center. Use the elbows to really push those thighs away from each other. Collarbone broad, back strong and upright, crown of the head reaching up. And just take a moment to pause. Close your eyes. Settle into this feeling of space arriving into the groin. Working our way through the different areas of the hips in a shorter class, but just exploring simple ways we can add things in to where we're already going. 2 more breaths here. Last breath. And then place the hands down, toes forward, coming into forward fold. And from forward fold, let's walk the hands back to the top of the mat, downward facing dog. Feet a little closer in together, and as we inhale, lift the right leg up. And just roll the toes inward a little so you feel the power through the back of the leg. And then exhale, bring the knee into the nose here. And then carry it back up with intention, 3-legged downward dog. Exhale, knee to nose. And then lift it back up to 3-legged downward dog. And then exhale, step the foot between the hands. Stay on the ball of the left, bring the left knee down to the ground. Come onto the top of the foot. Fingers reach up to the sky here. Sink into the hips. Lift up with the heart. Bring the hands together behind the back and just start to bring the thumbs towards the back of the head. Sinking down into the hips, lifting up with the heart. Finding that sense of space through the front of the ribs, through the chest area here. Notice how it feels, almost like you're squeezing a block in between the elbows, so an element of strength and flexibility. Dropping down deeper into left hip. And then slowly release the hands down. Tuck the toes, lift the knee. Come stay on the ball of the foot, and this time you're going to sweep the fingers all the way up to the sky. So you're sinking down into the hips, reaching away through left heel. And as you inhale, we're going to twist the upper body to the right side of the room. Left hand forward, right hand back. And some of you might stay here. Sink down into the hips more if you want to feel more. Flip left palm up, hand lifts up, right hand travels down the back of left leg. Getting in deeper and deeper into that front left hip. Getting deeper into front left body as well. Sinking down. Stability comes by pushing away through the heel. And then ever so slowly, left hand to the ground, right hand to the sky. Option to stay here or come onto the outside edge of your left foot, stacking right foot on top, toes reaching back towards you, hands reaching away from each other, side plank. And then look down, hand to the ground, readjust your feet. Exhale, chaturanga, all the way to the ground. Inhale, cobra, so a little bend in the elbows, hugging into the body, chest comes forward, upper back strong. And then tuck those toes under, lift up through plank, finding your downward facing dog. Take a nice long, deep, encouraging breath. And then inhale, lift that left leg. Toes rolling in just a little here. Lift up nice and high. Perfect. And then knee to nose, shoulders above the wrists. Inhale, lifting high. Second time, knee to nose. Inhale, lifting high. Exhale, stepping the foot between the hands, lowering right knee down here. Come onto the top of the foot, fingers lifting up to the sky. Sink down into the hips, lift up high with the chest. Hands meet above the head perhaps, bending the elbows, thumbs reaching towards the back of the head, lifting up with the heart, sinking down. Pushing into the feet, lifting up through the chest, through the elbows. Take another big breath. And then slowly guide the hands to the ground. Tuck the right toes under, lift the knee, coming higher now into full crescent. Fingers to the sky. Belly drawn in, heel reaching away. So as you inhale, get long in the spine. As you exhale, twist to the left. Right hand forward, left hand back. Sink down deeper if you wish. Stay here if you want to, or flip right palm up, hand to the sky. Left hand travels down the back of right thigh, reaching back with right fingers. Left big toe firm to the floor. Reaching more if it feels good, take another breath. And then we slowly, right hand to the ground, twist and take left hand up to the sky. Option to come into your side plank here, so coming onto outer edge of right foot, stacking left foot on top. One more breath. If you're in plank, just slowly lowering the hand to the ground, adjusting your foot back to plank itself. Chaturanga, exhale all the way down. Inhale, baby cobra or cobra. Chest forward, shoulders back. And then exhale, coming back into downward facing dog. Taking a nice round of 3 breaths in downward facing dog. Slow down the rhythm of breathing for this last round. And then slowly begin to look forward. Soften your knees, hop, step or jump to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, spine long. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees, come into chair pose. Fingers reaching high. Now the belly's drawn in, tailbone is reaching down, and there's this feeling of power. Strong straight lines in the body. We're going to bring the hands into heart center as we inhale. And as we exhale, we're twisting to the right, hooking left elbow to the outside of the knee, and then twisting heart around to meet hands. Gaze, ribs, chest, and shoulder drawing back here. Left knee might creep forward. Let that be okay. Take another big breath. Unwind, come back into chair pose. Fingers forwards and up. Legs strong. Exhale, twisting to the left. Right elbow to the outside of the knee. Heart reaching around to meet the hands. Sink down in the hips. Take another big breath. And then release the hands down, forward fold. Interlace the fingers behind the back. So we open up through the chest, reaching fingers away from lower back. Check into how things feel in the upper body. Strong through the upper body. Stretching through the front of the upper body. Releasing through the back of the legs. One more breath. Hands to the ground. Step right foot back. 90-degree angle here. And then just walk your fingers around. And you're going to come onto the heel of left foot. Sink into the right knee. Coming down into Skandasana. Okay, take another breath. Bring the hands to the ground. Walk yourself over, bending left knee. Coming onto the heel of right foot. Hands at heart center here again. Upper back strong. Collarbone broad. Let's do one more in each direction. Hands down, or keep the hands up if you can. Walking over to a bent knee on the right side. Inhale, spine long. And then option to take right hand in front of right knee. And as you exhale, take left arm back. Shoulder, chest, ribs drawing back here. Getting nice and juicy in the groin. Take another breath. And then bring the hands to heart center. You're going to face the back of the mat now and just slowly turn the toes to face that direction. And then keep on walking around. So you're going to turn so you're resting on the outside edge of both of your feet. Soles of the feet facing the skinny end of the mat. And then lower left hip down towards the ground. Push ground away with left hand so you're lengthening through side body. Right hand reaches back, getting into outer hip. Take another breath. And then hand to the ground, toes face the back of the mat. Keep on walking around, back into Skandasana. Bend into left knee, heel of right foot, hands at heart center. Chest lifted. If this feels okay, continue with me, otherwise stay where you are. Left arm in front of left thigh, right arm up and back as you breathe out. Finding that twist in thoracic spine. Take another breath. And then slowly, hands down, turn the feet to face the top of the mat. Keep on turning. Soles of the feet now face the opposite end of the mat. Right hip sinks down to the ground. Right hand is pushing the ground away. Left hand reaching backward. Notice how that feels through outer left hip, outer right side body. And then lower hand to the ground. Turn the feet to face forward. Step it back to plank. Chaturanga, exhale. Choice of uplift. Baby cobra, cobra, upward facing dog. And then tuck those toes under. Lift up through plank. Downward facing dog. Take a nice big breath here. Spine long. And then let's look forward as we step left foot forward. Turn right foot to a 90-degree angle and walk your fingers to face the long end of the mat. Toes to face the long end of the mat. Both legs straight. Spine long as we inhale. Exhale, drawing your torso closer to your legs. Head reaching down towards the ground here. Maybe even fingers turning in the opposite direction to the feet. Getting into the back line of the body in a different direction. Checking into how that feels for you. Notice how it feels to release through the lower back. Weight comes into the toes as well as the heels here. Take another big breath. And then inhale, spine long. Walk your fingers and your feet to the thin end of the mat at the back. Keep on walking around. So now you're facing the opposite direction, sitting yourself down. And if I spin around so you can see me, right leg is on top of left leg. Okay? And you can take the heels a little further away from your hips to make it a little more challenging. Spine long as you inhale. And as you exhale, you're just going to fold your way forward here. Gaze is down. If I show you from the side. And you want to be keeping a nice long length through the back of the neck. Hands come flat down to the ground. Doesn't matter how far down you do or don't go. But I want you to think length in the spine. Releasing through outer hip stabilizing muscles here. Close the eyes. We're going to take another 3 breaths. Try to let the shoulders just relax away from the ears. Check into how you're feeling. Last big breath here. And then walk those fingers back into center. Spine lifts. Lean back into the hands if you can and switch the legs over here. Okay, and you're going to have your opposite foot outside opposite hip. Feet wider away from hips if you want to. Spine long as you inhale. And as you exhale, just beginning to work your way forward. And then you're just folding down, gaze downwards, closing your eyes as you settle into this place of exploration. Slowing down the breath if you can, every shape taking us a little further into our physical body, but also a little further into our heading towards Shavasana, if you want to think about it like that. Journeying inward, slowing down, settling into that calmer part of our nervous system, that awakening of the body. Allowing us to have more access into the internal organs and the cells within as well. Allowing us to move from doing to being. And the being bit is the bit that we miss the most in our lives. We're so busy with our to-do lists, with the things that we want to see and do. And this year's been really about trying to slow down, journeying inward. And sometimes we enjoy that, sometimes we don't. We find it challenging. Last breath here. And let's just slowly work our way back up to a seat here and just unwind the legs out ahead of you. Toes point towards us. We're going to reach the hands up to the sky as we inhale. And as we exhale, just beginning to fold our way forward. Gaze just down, lengthening through the back of the neck, checking in with how it feels through the whole line of the back body here. Softening the space in between the eyebrows and around the edges of the eyes. And noticing how you feel, continuing with that exploration of mind as well as body. Breath slows down as we journey deeper into that slower, calmer rhythm, heading towards Shavasana. 2 more breaths here. And when the second breath for you finishes, you're just going to roll yourself up slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae. Make sure there's enough space behind you to lie down. And then go ahead and bring yourself down onto your back and just let the legs relax in whichever direction feels best for them to be. Arms out wide, palms facing up. Whole of the back line of the body just melting down to the mat. And softening the muscles around the eyes and around the mouth, around the jaw and the neck. Allowing the weight of your head and your shoulders, your spine, your hips, your arms and your legs to just naturally melt downward. Slowing everything down. And just start to bring a little awareness back into the body as you wiggle your fingers and your toes. Reaching the arms up overhead, inviting a full body stretch. And drawing the knees in towards the chest, giving them a hug as you roll a little from side to side, back and forth. Eventually coming to roll over and rest for a moment on whichever side feels best for you. And keeping your eyes closed, using your hands to gently lift you up to a comfortable seat. Resting the hands on the knees or the lap as you take a moment to pause to check in. And let's see if we can carry some of this awareness of space in the body, awareness of power, awareness of the ability to find calmness no matter what we're doing, with us into the rest of our day, the rest of our week ahead, coming back to it at any time that we might need it. Let's bring our hands gently together at heart center. Bowing our head to our hands in gratitude for our practice, in gratitude for our health. Namaste.